Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. All right, I'm your host, Kofa Ashe. Welcome to my channel, The Urban Alchemistic, hashtag the Dexter of Brujas, the HPIC. That means the High Priestess in charge. All right, so it is 6:03 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm reporting live from Los Angeles. It's March 7th, M-A-R 7th. All right, so today's a wonderful day. I'm just sitting here chilling. I just got out of my spiritual bath, sprayed myself with Nudo de Bruja, and I'm just sitting here chilling. Roll me up a blunt, and I'm watching some little indie movies and shit on Tubi. But I forgot to do this video. I did an 8th Houses video, so be sure to look in the description box or in the comment section. I will put a link for the 8th Houses support group. So I already did my 8th Houses video, so this video will be the 12th Housers video. So if you have 12th house placements, this will be for you. The 12th house is the Pisces house, okay? The unconscious house, the house of hidden enemies, yada to the motherfucking yada. We already know what it is, all right? So we're going to talk about 8th house placements here. And I did the 8th Houses support group, so this is the 12th Housers, I guess you say the 12th Houses support group. I guess that's what I'm going to title this video, the 12th Housers support group. Okay, so this is a video for those who have 12th house placements, and if you also have 8th house and 12th house places, this is definitely for you. You're going to be able to relate to a lot of these TikToks I'm about to show you guys. All right, so yeah, let's get into it. For me, I have 8th house placements as well as 12th house placements. And one thing I can say about having these placements is that you do attract a lot of people who are obsessive with you, obsessed with your energy, obsessed with stalking. You do attract a lot of stalker type of energy. And if you want to know which placements in particular, you know, what sign and what house, just watch the video and it'll show you. So for me, for my 12th house placements, I have Scorpio in the 11th and the 12th house. I also have many different transits going through my 12th, such as the moon, Uranus, Mars. Whew. Man, I was looking at the other day. I mean, different websites say different things. I'm not gonna lie, they say different things, especially when it comes to the houses. They say different stuff. But for me, I have some transits in the moon house. I have a Scorpio or / Pluto in the 12th. My 12th. Okay, yeah, Pluto in the 12th, and then what else? Yeah, I have Moon, Mars, Uranus, I believe Saturn. Yeah, I have Pluto and Saturn, then Uranus, Mars, and the Moon. So I got a lot of shit going on. a lot of shit going on there, okay? I'm also a 12th house Scorpio. That's what they call Pluto in the 12th house. So you're a 12th house Scorpio. So a very interesting placement. It does attract. It is said that whatever sign that's in your 12th house, those are your hidden enemies. Very interesting, because as a Virgo sun, they say that Scorpio sun is our best match. You know, for water to be with earth to be with water, because it makes mud. It makes, you know, it goes together. And they say that is our best match. And Virgo and Scorpio, of course, used to be the same sun sign before Libra was created to put the balance between both. So it's crazy that Scorpio is my best. It could be my best match as a Virgo sun. It could be my best match, but also could be my hidden enemy. That's some crazy shit, right? So your hidden enemy could also be your best match. If you're a Virgo sun, you got a Scorpio in the 12th. That's crazy, right? So anyhow, yeah, I always used to trip off of that. But yeah, to have these 12th house placements is to deal with a lot of stalker energy, to deal with a lot of unconscious, unseen, hidden enemies and things of that nature. So a lot of the TikToks I'm about to show you guys are hella relatable, and it's just crazy. It explains a lot. Every time, you know, on a weekly basis, I like to look at my natal chart just for little places, houses, and degrees, and just try to learn different stuff about me. And I always learn something different. Just when you think you know your birth chart, there's always more to discover. And we also have a progressed natal chart as well too. So you know, as a progressed in my progressed chart, I moved up a sign. You know, I have more water in my chart, in my progressed chart, whereas in my birth chart, I hardly have any water, and the only water I do have would be the Saturn and Scorpio, like all the further distant, like Saturn and Scorpio, so Scorpio in the 12th house. That's like the only water. Everything else is just like, you know, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Okay, that you might as well call me Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's pretty much mostly what I am. But in my progressed natal chart, it's different. I'm a Libra progressed. I'm a Cancer Moon progressed. Yeah, Cancer Moon in the 8th house still. That's still there. So a lot of things have moved up a sign. My rising sign changed, all kinds of different things. So yeah, be sure to check your progress chart. Your progress chart shows you where you are now. Okay, so it shows you where you are now versus what you are in birth. Sometimes you'll have the tendency, you'll have both tendencies. You feel me? Your present Western chart and your progress chart, you'll have both tendencies sometimes, but it's evolution. Your progress chart shows your evolution because the planets that are closest to the sun, such as, of course, the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, all the ones that are close to the sun, Mars, all the ones that are close to the sun, those are the signs that can change. Okay, those are the signs that change. Some houses will change too. Your zodiac sign will change in some houses. The only things that don't change, that stay with you for life, are the planetary placements that are furthest away from the sun, such as the Neptune and the Saturn and the Uranus. All that stay the same. But your planetary placements that are closest to the sun, those are the ones that change and progress over the years. So it's very fascinating. I absolutely love astrology and numerology. It's bomb as hell. So let's go ahead and get into this. Shout out to all my 12-housers. Happy Pisces season to all of my high vibrational Pisceans out there. My sister sign, mwah, kisses and fucking hugs. This is your house, the 12th house, okay? Pisces is the oldest zodiac sign. That is the Virgo's sister sign. And the Pisces energy, they can embody all 12 signs of the zodiac. That's the flip side to Virgo, okay? We also have that ability as well. So it's interesting, the human and the fish, okay? Definitely connections there, being a marina and all that stuff. So I absolutely enjoy Pisces season. That's my daughter's season. She's an Aqua Pisces cusper baby. February Pisces. All right, shout out to all y'all, February and March. All right, and that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and get into these videos and let's enjoy the show. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All right, let's begin.
And see, that's the answer. That is the answer. Someone commented on my video about 12-housers, how I said that 12-housers growing up, we don't see the confidence, the beauty, the whatever that we have, but other people do, and that's why they project onto us. And we're like, why they projected? What did I do? They see the thing that you don't see. But then someone said, you find your confidence in isolation. So while some people, they gain their confidence through birth or just playing sports or just being out and about, 12-housers, or so a lot of times people think that 12-housers, we are forced into isolation, and that is where we find our confidence. So if you're a 12-houser and you are younger and you're like, I don't feel confident, you will. Life will force you. And when I say life will force you, it's not, this is just my experience. To me, it's not in the best way possible. It is probably my confidence came when I was heartbroken. But then it made me get into myself and be by myself. And then I knew that the only way I was gonna get out of the depression and funk that I was in was by making myself get out of it. On top of that, I have kids. So I started speaking well to myself. I started doing my makeup better. I started working more on my fitness. I knew in my heart eventually that I was the shit. And no one was gonna tell me anything different. But if you had asked me that when I was younger, absolutely not. So how did I find my confidence? And so I'm gonna say the heartbreaking part. This is just me. This is how I found mine. Everybody's different. So how I found mine was, at the time, we're gonna take this way back to 2017 to 2020. In 2017 to 2021, I was an instructor, so I had to public speak in front of people all the time. And when you do enough public speaking, you kind of gain confidence. I had a great supervisor. He ended up being my daughter's godfather, like just an amazing man. But then he PCS, meaning he moved, because I'm in the military. He moved, and I got a shitty supervisor after that, and she was terrible. And I didn't know why. I didn't know what I did. But she definitely did not like me at all. And I didn't like her. After a while, I was like, you're not even that great. So obviously I didn't politic right. And she hated me, I hated her, and it made my life worse. But then I ended up moving. And so I moved to a different base, the base I was at before I came here. So now we're in 2021. we're in 2021 to 2025, because that's when I moved from the other base that I was just at to now here. So in 2021, I moved to North Dakota. And initially, I had a great boss. She left. God damn it, all my bosses keep leaving. So then she left, and then I just end up having like shitty leadership. Like they just hate me for no reason. And I work so hard. I do all these things, and I'm just like, what is it that I'm doing? Keep in mind, I had never had that issue prior to 2020. Prior to 2021, I had never had an issue with any of my bosses. All of them said that I was great because I work hard. I do what you ask me to do. I come up with great ideas. I take care of my people the best I can. I'm good. But at the new base, they hated me. But also during that time, around 2020, 2021, I started working on my fitness. I started getting better at my makeup because I just got done having kids. So I was like, I need to feel like me again. But yeah, we moved to North Dakota. The bosses hate me. I was getting ready for a divorce. It's freaking cold in North Dakota. It's like in the negative. So there were just so many downers. And I was like, maybe I am terrible. Like, what is it? Then fast forward like a few months later, I get a job working for the wing, which is like a headquarters. If I'm not talking to military people. Got a really good job, and they fucking love me. They love me, and I was like, oh, and I'm the same. And I was like, oh, so that's what it is. They're haters. So yeah, that is how I found my confidence, because as soon as the job that I got was only temporary, it was only for a year. So that means that meant I had to go back to the freaking building that I freaking hated because they're terrible. And it was the same treatment. Like, they fucking hated me. And I was like, what the hell am I doing wrong? And then, then I started realizing people were kind of telling me the same thing. Like, the people who cared about me told me the same thing. That they'll be like, Jazz, they hate you because you're pretty. Or they hate you because, and at the time, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty, but I don't think I'm that pretty to be hated on. Or a lot of the people that I would supervise, they'll be like, sorry, now you just have like this confidence. You just have this thing, this strong presence, when you walk into a room. And I was like, man, I'm just walking. I'm just thinking. But that's the thing. That is the thing. I didn't see it, but other people did. And some people, they will be admired by that. And some people, they will hate you for that. For something that you don't see. So my 12THOUSERS, you better freaking believe it. Because you're going to allow other people who are jealous of you to make you feel like you need to hate yourself because they hate you. They hate you because they want to be you and they can't. Or maybe you're toxic. Who knows?
Wait, I can't tell if you're angry or not.
I'm not. I'm totally not angry.
Oh. Okay, now you sound pretty angry.
I'm not angry. I'm fine. I love it.
Hey guys, I want to talk about the 12th house, okay? 12THOUSERS, people with planets in their 12th house, and how it connects to celebrity energy, okay? 12th house and celebrity energy, because 12THOUSERS have a lot of it. And this is not exactly a glamorizing thing. I'm not talking about this in a glamorous way, because you know how 12THOUSERS hate a lot of attention, but we get it anyway, and we actually have a lot of celebrity energy, and it connects a lot to the 12th house. But I want to talk about why, okay? A lot of astrologers have also been mentioning the 12th house and how it's celebrity energy. I'm here to break it down. I'm here to tell you guys literally why, okay? We're not going to talk about it theoretically. You guys know me. I like to get practical. I'm a Virgo. So we're going to discuss, okay, and talk about the connections between celebrity energy and 12th house energy and why 12th houses have celebrity energy. First of all, I always say this. The 12th house is a career house. It is a house that deals with the universe, the collective. All the houses from 9 to 12. I know 10th house gets all the attention about career in public, and it deserves it, obviously, because it's tangible. But all of the houses from 9, 10, 11, and 12. 9, 10, 11, and 12, they all deal with the collective as a whole. And they just do it in 4 different approaches, okay? And the 12th house is part of the collective house. It deals with the universe. Fame deals with the universe. This is why fame deals with popularity and the public as a whole, the collective as a whole knowing you. This is why 12th housers can find themselves in fame, because they're dealing with addressing the public in general. So a lot of things that we do, our abilities are for the universe as a collective. 12th housers have the psychic ability of the collective. They feel what's happening in the world as one, not just only individual people or relationships. They're connected to the world. This can make them predict the world. This can make them heal the world. A lot of stuff. It makes them available to so many people. Yes, we're very private, but we are connected to the collective as a whole. we just have like that bird's eye view. It's like the ego. The ego sees the whole world, the whole collective, the whole bird's eye view. Yes, it's isolated, but it's connected to seeing the whole group, the whole place, that's us. Okay, so it deals with the public. When you 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th house, they're gonna be dealing with the public. It deals with that fame. And I know you're thinking, oh, well, I'm shy. Yeah, well, the 12th house represents the shy people that deal with the public. Okay, and this is why it's not this is why I don't glamorize. And it's also why people don't glamorize fame. 12th housers are artists. If you see a lot of famous people, a lot of the celebrities are what? They're artists, they're actors, they're entertainers, they're singers, they're artists, they're doing something creative. This is why a lot of creative endeavors leads to fame. It leads to big recognition. Think about the writers. A lot of 12th housers are writers. They writing amazing books and getting very famous. Creating a cool film and getting famous, changing the direction of animation, getting creative. All those creative stuff, artists, singing, pop stars, music, all of those things, it leads to fame. A lot of our skills and our talents leads to fame, because why? Our skills and talents is supposed to what? Service the collective. The whole point of art is to beautify the world. We're supposed to inspire the world. That's why art is very trendy. It deals with fashion. What's the new look? What are we wearing? What's the new style? How do we dress? How do we design our architecture, our houses? Every art leads to art is supposed to inspire the collective and change and heal the world. That's our direct connection. This is why a lot of artists are famous. And this is why 12 houses are artists. And what you realize, 12 houses are artists. A lot of us are artists. That's why your art can lead to mega fame. This is why we deal with that celebrity energy. Again, it's another connection. Also, spiritual gurus. Think about your crazy famous spiritual gurus. Think about how much attention they get. Think about their ministries. Think about the collective that follows them. Even if you're not a super famous, like maybe you're not an artist. Maybe you're more niche. You're doing more spiritual work. So it could be niche. And spiritual work now is very popular. And you're seeing how popular these spiritual gurus are getting, especially online. But say you're not like the celebrity, like an artist. Spiritual gurus are still incredibly popular. What do they have? A ministry. They have a following, collective. Okay, this is again the celebrity energy. The celebrity energy is in the 12th house because 12th housers have some of the most powerful, influential energies. This is why so many people copy us, because we're meant to impact and have a bunch of people follow us. We're trendsetters. Just like the 11th housers, we're trendsetters, but we're trendsetters in the most occult way. Like, we're trendsetters in a way where everybody wants to F with us. You know, people get really connected to us because we're healers. So yeah. Again, another connection with that celebrity energy. Also, another pattern I want to talk about is like the isolation thing. Look how celebrities need protection. They can't be just out and about. People are going to maul them. People are going to question them. People are going to be screaming. All that. They need security. They need all of that. Same thing with 12th houses. It's the same thing. 12th houses rule celebrity. Okay, at this point, I'm just saying 12th house rules celebrity. What do 12th houses always need? Protection. We don't want to go out. It's too much energy. People violate us. They ask us too much questions. They make us the villain. What do they do with celebrities? They're all in their face, taking pictures of them, making stories up about them, making rumors about them. What do they do with 12th housers? They talk about us. They villainize us. They make rumors about us. They project their own imaginations and ideas onto us. Just like what we do with celebrities. We create our own creations about them. And what does it do? It violates your boundaries. It violates your image. It violates the way people treat it. Celebrities need protection just like 12th housers. 12th housers are like celebrities. They cannot just be out here. That's why you always got to be isolated. You got to have protection. You can't just be out here. It's that whole celebrity. Also, this is what makes it challenging. This is what makes fame. I feel like the 12th house also explains the celebrity energy, that fame energy, and the victim narrative, which I don't mean narrative, but it explains the part of it that's so frustrating, which is your boundaries being violated. Like, think about like Michael Jackson. Think about, Nelson Mandela, think about, Marilyn Monroe, Britney Spears. Look how their lives were violated. Gandhi, look how their lives were. They were artists. They were spiritual teachers. They were healers. But look how their lives were violated because of the lack of boundaries. Look how they get treated. Look how being a celebrity energy is dangerous because of how you get treated, because of how you get misinterpreted, because of how you get violated. Look how you become a victim to your fame. The 12th house represents being a victim of all this attention and energy and how you need that protection. And look how these spiritual leaders, like a lot of those Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, or Michael Jackson, look how they were treated. Look how difficult fame is. Whitney Houston. Look how Whitney Houston, Britney Spears, look how their boundaries are violated. Celebrity, fame, I'm telling you, 12th house rules the celebrity. So yes, okay, fame is glamorized just like the 12th house. The 12th house is an imagination. It's your fantasy. This is why we're so creative. We have such a great imagination, but it's also a nightmare. That's fame. Fame is supposed to be glamorous because you have all this attention, all this money, all this power. But at the same time, you have all your privacy violated, boundaries violated, talked about, all this stuff. So you can become a victim of it, just like the 12th house. So 12th house rules celebrity. 12th house is celebrity energy. This is a lot of 12th housers have the potential, and it's not about gaining attention. It's about being an artist and being influential and tapping into your destiny. But you need a lot of protection, just like celebrities. I don't know how many more parallels can I make? Like, are you guys not convinced? 12th house is celebrity energies. This is why the artists are there. This is why the violations, the boundaries are violated. This is where the inspiration, this is the spiritual teachers are always villainized. All that. So let me know what you guys think as 12th. Hey guys, I'm here to do this video about the 12th house, okay, 12th housers. And I'm here to talk about how 12th housers are actually a threat to society, okay? We're given such a hard time because we're literally a threat to the system and society, and this is very interesting. So why are we? It's because of our intuition. Our intuition is the main reason why we're a threat to society. Our intuition is a threat to society because society is a system. Society is a system, and there's a way things function. And because our intuition allows us to see past the veil, see past the act, see past the system, we have the ability to expose it and therefore destroy it. And that is a threat to society, aka the system. So what happens? You get silenced, you get gaslit every time you're using your intuition, every time you're seeing in between the lines, every time you're picking up on energies that go beyond the surface. That's really what it is with intuition. It's being in tune. Intuition, in tune with somebody else. So when you're in tune with somebody, I have moon in my 12th house, so I know exactly what it feels like to be in tune with somebody else. You feel their emotions. So if you can feel somebody's emotions, it doesn't matter what they tell you. You can feel that they're lying. You can feel that what they're saying or what they're doing or how they're behaving doesn't line up with what you're picking up. You could walk into a room and just feel if someone's off. So what does that do? It stops anyone from hiding. It exposes people. It exposes people, and people can't be fake, but especially systems, especially society and systems. You see, the 12th house is a universal house. It deals with psychic abilities that go beyond just people. 4th and 8th house could be more people, social, relationship, but the 12th house brings it to the universe. So you're highly intuitive. Neptune energy, Pisces energy is high intuition with the 12th house. So people here can feel deeply and strongly, and it doesn't discriminate, and we can pick up energies on a collective level. So you can expose the collective, you can expose what's fake, you can expose what's wrong. You can see behind it, and that can destroy a lot of society's agendas. So you are a threat. Look at our world now. Look at all the things we're figuring out. Look at all the files we're unleashing. Look at the stuff we're figuring out. When you have a lot of 12th housers in this world, 12th housers are going to be the first ones to understand this stuff. 12th housers are going to be the first people to be considered conspiracy theorists. Why? Because we can pick up on things and not necessarily have the strong, obvious evidence. Because we can just go deeper. A lot of people, they'll be shocked about the stuff going on in this world because they're not in tuned. So they will fall for the mask. They'll fall for the act. They'll think that these people are good. They'll worship these people, and you tell them no, because you can feel and see through it. And until the person's actually exposed, they won't know anything, and they'll look at you like you're the villain, like you're the problem. So our intuition is the reason why we're such a threat to society. This is why we're constantly gaslit, attacked, isolated. It's because we can see right through the system. And this is all types of systems, okay? This is going into the workforce. This is going into clubs, your church. Like, people are going to be intimidated by your intuition because your ability to see through the veil destroys systems. And people lose their agendas, and people can't be, and you can't be groomed too. That's another thing, because you see right through things. Like, 12th houses can be groomed, but for really different reasons. They're groomed into the sense of like they're shut down. You're not allowed to use your intuition, so you're trained and almost traumatized into not using your intuition. But deep down inside, you always know when things are off. And I feel like a lot of times 12th housers just accept the fact. A lot of times it's not like when 12th housers get controlled, a lot of times it's not because they're aligning with what's going on. They just realize they're outnumbered. Like, how many times are you going to have to constantly go against, be the unpopular opinion, be the oddball out? After a while it gets annoying, and sometimes you just accept the world for what it is. But yeah, our intuition is a threat to society. It ruins systems, it ruins fake people, it exposes systems, it destroys systems. And that's a threat to society because society has a system, it has a way it wants to function, and you breaking it is a disturbance. This is why you're constantly put away, gaslit, thrown out, removed from society because you're the chosen one. So yes, let me know, 12th housers, what you feel about this. This is why, this is it, you know, your intuition. And you're going to notice that anytime you're being intuitive, anytime you're reading in between the lines, they want to shut you down. They want to shut you up. And people get really triggered. Really, really triggered.
If you have planets in your 12th house, you are not imagining the bad vibes that people are giving you. The 12th house is your astrological blind spot. And so when you don't see your own magic, insecure people are going to try to occupy that space. They're going to try to define these qualities and these planets for you. So for example, 12th house suns don't always realize how much confidence and light they truly radiate. And insecure, vindictive people that come around you can see this about you. These people will try to drain your battery and your life force, as well as try to chip away at your confidence. Because they see how powerful you are, they think that if they can knock you down a peg, that it will somehow lift them up. With Mercury in the 12th house, you don't always realize how profound and insightful your thoughts are. People who are insecure about their own intelligence sense this and see this in you, and they try to pick at your words and purposefully misunderstand you to make you feel dumb. You aren't stupid, they're just intimidated by how your brain works. With Moon in the 12th house, they really want you to question your own intuition and emotions. And this is because they lack the emotional depth that you just naturally have. Some people have to work really hard to dig into their own feelings, and Moon in 12th house do not have to do that. Moon in 12th house are extremely sympathetic and empathetic people. So people who really struggle with empathy or lack empathy entirely, they sense this in you and they try to make you question your own emotions and your own intuition. Because they think if they can prove that you are shallow, that will somehow make them seem more emotionally intelligent. Venus in 12th house is classic, they're trying to make you feel ugly. Venus in 12th house have this ethereal, natural beauty to them. People in fact project their own standards of beauty onto you, and people just can't help themselves but look at you. And when someone can't access you as a 12th house Venus, they're going to love bomb, gaslight, and try to make you go against your own values, and try to make you question your own self-worth. With Mars in the 12th house, they're going to try to convince you that your goals and your dreams are unrealistic or unattainable. These people see that you have the drive and the stamina as well as the passion to achieve anything you set your mind to. The best thing that all of these placements can do, in my opinion, is move in silence. Don't tell anyone your goals. Don't tell anyone what you're going to do or what your plans are before you do it. Just lead with action. Silence is power with 12th house placements.
I'm not fucking crazy. I'm real. I'm fucking real. And that's what y'all don't like. Y'all don't like the fact that I'm a real bitch.
Babe, if you have a lot of planets in the 12th house or any planets in the 12th house, you have a stellium, a large concentration of energy in the 12th house, this is for you. Don't worry about who you are, what you're doing, trying to understand yourself in any kind of way. Your job is quite literally one of the most complex yet simplistic jobs on this plane. Your job is to understand that you are everything and nothing at once. Compared to other people, especially with the sun placement, compared to other people whose suns are in other houses, if you have a 12th house sun, your identity is everything yet nothing at the same time. And if you can live within that space of duality, then you're going to be unstoppable. Because people who have suns in other houses have prominent, I suppose, assignments in their lives or prominent things that they need to be or have to be. When you have a sun in 12th house, you can be anything you want to be. Absolutely anything. And this also applies to Pisces people. You have the power of all the houses together. And you get to decide who and what you want to be, and you would excel at it. The only problem is that we don't see ourselves, we don't experience our own egos, so we struggle with issues of inadequacy. But you're extremely adequate. You're probably more adequate than most people. You just don't know it because the Neptunian fog is very real. But once you understand that you are everything and you can be anything, you will have found your power. The 12th house is all about understanding that you are here to customize your life versus all the other houses, which are very set in stone. With the 12th house, you get to customize, right? You get to pick and choose what you want your identity to represent and how you want to show up in the world. Versus other people who have a very set out identity or set out set of rules that they kind of follow in life. You get to design, construct, customize what you want to be. And that's how much power there is in the 12th house. It's unknown because you get to customize. It's the house of the unknown. It's not set in stone because you get to customize. So if you have 12th house placements, don't get caught up on who am I supposed to be, what am I supposed to be, who do you want to be, and be exactly that.
12th housers invented haunting the narrative. 12th housers are the kinds of people who come into your life, teach you a lesson, and then leave, maybe really abruptly. They might ghost, they might block suddenly, just sort of disappear from your life. but they leave behind spiritual residue. 12th housers, especially 12th house sun, moon, Mercury, act as a mirror into others' subconscious realms. So they trigger people. They fundamentally change every person that they come into contact with, even on a mundane, temporary level. If you bump into a 12th houser on the street, you might really remember them, might stick out in your brain. They might appear in a dream as a background character. Or you might even say, I dreamt of this person last night. I don't even know who that was, but your brain subconsciously remembers them and projects them. And for people who manage to get close to 12th housers or have long-term relationships with 12th housers, the 12th house person is always going to maintain a level of distance, which gives them this elusive nature. And when people are missing information about you, they fill in blanks naturally with their brain. And since 12th housers are so distant in nature, people end up filling in the blanks, projecting their own feelings, projecting their expectations onto that person. And the opinions that people hold of 12th housers actually say a lot more about themselves than they do about the 12th house person. And so in cases where a 12th house person maybe has a falling out with someone, or if you just naturally fall out of contact with the 12th house person, their vibe still permeates the room. People think about you long after you leave their lives. That connection leaves a lasting impact on them. And that's why I say that they haunt the narrative, because 12th housers almost act as ghosts. Even when you're not around, your essence is felt.
So I've been getting a lot of comments from my 12th housers are the chosen people by God, God's chosen people. And I've been getting a lot of comments of people saying, no, that's the 9th housers. The 9th house people are the chosen people. 12th house is way too karmic, way too depressing. And first of all, I love this comment because one, it kind of opened my mind into considering 9th house people. However, I still don't feel like 9th house people are God's chosen people. Maybe to a certain extent, but not the ultimate chosen ones from God's people. And the reason why it's not the 9th house, it's really the 12th house for me, is because 9th house doesn't deal with the negative karma. You guys have to understand that when it comes to being God's chosen people, you are held to the highest standard. You know how when someone does something and they don't get in trouble and then you do it and it's like boom, 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 bam, what? Yes, on a surface level, it's unfair, but on a higher level, people hold you to a higher standard because your purpose is higher. You're here to truly get it right. So when you're God's chosen people, nothing about being God's chosen people is about things being easy. It's not about things being easy, okay? Being a follower of God, and God is very subjective too. I think that's also very subjective too. When I say God, I'm just talking about the highest of high, okay? The universe, whatever you want to call it, your spirit guides, your ancestors, the universe. But when it comes to being the chosen one, you have the most difficult challenges. It's not necessarily easier because you have the highest responsibility, okay? Which again is to heal the world. 9th housers, they deal with a lot of abundance, freedom, and it is a house of God, of spirituality, of teaching. But the problem with the 9th house is they don't deal with negative karma. So with all that abundance and freedom that they have, they end up abusing it. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. People with lots and lots of Sagittarius energy, they spend lots of lifetimes with Sagittarius energy, with a lot of 9th house energy, all that freedom, all that abundance, hella Jupiter energy. They end up abusing that energy and abusing other people. I can even compare 9th house energy to white supremacy. Okay, and this is not saying that all white people do this. Absolutely not. This is more of an example of how this energy can manifest. But white supremacy in the sense of traveling to other countries and taking over other countries and teaching them your faith and telling them that this is the truth, gentrifying, all that type of stuff, that's an abuse of power. But that is the power of abundance and freedom and spreading your energy around. That is 9th house energy. A lot of people with a lot of 9th house energy don't experience limitations and restrictions. So because they have all this freedom, they end up abusing it. And what do they end up doing? They end up racking up karma. You guys have to understand with astrology, when you have a really positive house, what comes next? The negative house. Okay, what comes after the 9th house? The 10th house. Restrictions, okay? Discipline, okay? That negative karma. So the 12th housers, it is God's chosen people because we're the highest house and we have to deal with negative and positive karma. Think about the 12th house. Think of Pisces energy, the fish going up and down. 12th house is your biggest nightmares and your biggest imaginations and dreams and visions. It's both energies. We have to experience the negative karma to understand what pain is. You can't heal someone if you don't understand what pain is. You can't do those. You have to understand both energies. And when God's dealing with his most chosen people, those people have to understand negative karma. They have to understand restrictions. They have to understand abuse of power, which is things that 9th house people do not understand. When you're given so much freedom and so much positivity, you don't understand negativity. You don't understand restrictions. You don't understand the abuse of power. This is why ninth house is very good, but it's still not the highest house, because they have to understand restrictions. They have to understand when they're doing too much. They have to not over abuse their power, which is a very easy thing to do with a lot of Sagittarius ninth house energy. Abusing your power, abusing your faith, trying to force everyone to believe. The 12th house will have you being so empathetic, understanding everyone's energies, everyone's perspective, that you don't just throw your beliefs in just so forcefully without getting the true perspective of where things are coming from, understanding multiple perspectives. We deal with the negative karma because we have the highest responsibility. Okay, and there is light in the 12th house, okay? And I understand, like, we talk about a lot of negativity with the 12th house, but the 12th house is art, it's creation, it's imagination, it's healing, it's colors, it's fantasy, it's a dream. It's what people, our artistic gifts, I'm a songwriter, our artistic gifts are just on a whole different level. It is the highest form of artistry. Your imagination, your fantasy, these are things people die for. So let's not act like there is no beauty in the 12th house. The 12th house has the most beautiful things you will ever see. Magical, mystical things, unicorn things, rainbows, angels, things that are just so high above this world. We have the dreams, the visions, but we also have to deal with the darkness. Why? Because that's how the world is. The world is a balance. It's dark and light. And God's chosen people have to understand both energies. Otherwise, you're going to fall. I'm telling you guys, ninth house is people with a lot of Jupiter, ninth house, Sagittarius energy. They're racking up karma. Yes, they're having a fun life, but they're racking up karma for that next life. Because you have to understand this world is balanced. And God's chosen people have to understand balance. You need to be responsible with your energy. Everything isn't unlimited. You're going to be stepping on people's toes, which is easy for ninth housers to do when they have all this freedom and abundance. What does it do? It gets to your head. It makes you have a big ego. It makes you think you're right over anybody, you know? So again, and the ninth house is a very blessed house. The people who've been coming up with these comments, I 100% appreciate it. The ninth house is a very godly house. There's a lot of spirituality. There's a lot of luck and positivity. But it's missing that negative side, the karmic side that helps balance everything, that helps understands that there is a such thing as stepping on people's toes and abusing your power and restrictions. You need that balance in order to be the ultimate chosen one, because you will be correct. You will be right. You got to feel the pain in order to heal people. So the 12th house, and that's why the 12th house is the highest house. Because it understands all these karmic lessons from all the other different houses, all the other different signs. It has the ultimate perspective, the deepest perspective. You can't dodge one. So being God's chosen person is not just a walk in the park. It's not. It was never meant to be that way. It's the most difficult because you have the highest responsibility. That's why your karma is so quick. You can't be handing out karma to people if you're not getting karma. The reason why our karma becoming strong on people is because we understand how it is to get karma. You have to be humbled. So yes, you got to understand that. That's why I personally don't believe the ninth house is the highest house, is the God's chosen people, because they end up abusing their power and they end up racking up karma anyway. Okay, it's a balance. It's a balance. It's a balance. It's a balance. So it's not all fun roses for God. God needs you to be responsible, to be disciplined, to be able to face the darkness. And also the 12th house isn't just darkness. It's fantasy. It's colors. A lot of us are artists. We love rainbows. We love colors. We love painting. We love singing. We love dancing. Like, come on now. The 12th house is not just this negative house. We're all about the imagination. People die for our creativity and our imagination. That's why they're always stealing from us, guys. That's why they're always trying to steal our swag, guys. Come on. Don't shame on us 12th housers. We are really gifted and the chosen.
If you have 12th house placements in your birth chart, I'm telling you right now that the way that you can manifest things just by through speaking is crazy. Let me teach you some magic about the 12th house. Having 12th house placements in your birth chart can help you to manifest things just by saying what you want out loud, especially right before you go to sleep. So for example, if you have your Venus in the 12th house and you want to manifest some money, start saying some money affirmations out loud before you go to bed. Or for example, if you have your Jupiter in the 12th house and you want to start manifesting more happiness, more joy, more good luck, and good fortune, start saying some of those affirmations out loud before you go to bed. Or for example, if you have your Saturn in the 12th house and you want to manifest more career success, more business success, more discipline, more consistency, more tenacity, start saying some of those affirmations out loud before you go to bed. But let me tell you the reason why the 12th house in astrology can represent this. The reason why the 12th house in astrology can represent this is because of derivative astrology. So the 12th house in astrology is 2 houses from the 11th house. The 2nd house in astrology can represent many things like your voice or speech, while the 11th house in astrology can represent many things like your hopes, wishes, dreams, and incoming financial gains. Now be mindful though that derivative astrology does use a different counting system. So you always have to count the house that you're starting from and include it when counting. Anyways, here are the first 4 planets, so be sure to check those out. Here are the next 4 planets, and here are the last ones. Anyways, comment down below which planet.
12th housers are truly God's chosen people. Okay, I don't know if you've heard that before, but it can be seen truly as God's chosen people. And the reason is because we are the most sensitive. And if God wants to use a particular type of person or group of people, he's going to have to be able to channel his messages, communicate with that person, use that person. That's why the 12th house is so much about surrendering. And we're the highest house, so we're the closest to the sky, to the cosmos, even higher than the sky, the cosmos, the higher energies that are outside of this world. We're the most connected. This is why we get visions and dreams and superstitious things, psychic abilities, because we're able to hear from higher energies. If God wants to use a particular group of people, he's going to have to be able to communicate to those people. And 12th housers are the ones who can hear this communication from higher energies, because we're used like vessels. This is why, again, the 12th house is so much about service and surrendering to a higher energy, surrendering to the universe, aka the angels, God, the higher energies. Because if he wants us to do the work, we have to hear what is it that he wants us to do. He or she, God is goddess, universe wants us to do. Okay, whatever title you want to put on it. We are like the vessels, okay, to this energy. We're the ones who can hear, okay, what it is that God or goddess or the universe is trying to tell us to communicate to the world as prophets. We get the downloads, okay? Other people with energies are not intuitive enough to hear these higher energies, okay? They're more stuck into the lower realm, which isn't a problem too. There's a power in everything. But I'm speaking about the quote-unquote God-chosen people. We hear from the highest because we are the most sensitive, okay? It's that clairvoyance, you know. It is that psychic ability, okay? That ability to hear God. God is using you because he can. You're the vessel. You're the open energy. You can feel God's energy. Okay, this sensitivity that the 12th housers have. We're sensitive to other people's energies. We're the most sensitive in general. And this makes us an open vessel to hear, to see, to feel, to connect to God. Goddess, angels, universe, whatever you want to put a title onto. We are the vessel. And God can use us like a vessel in order to share the message. Okay, when you get those visions from a higher power, from the cosmos, from the angels, from something that's never been seen or thought of before, these downloads, it comes from that higher power. Whatever you want to put a title on, the universe, angels, whatever, your ancestors, whatever. We have the closest connection, so God can communicate to us, and we can play as the vessel that is here to bring those downloads, those information to the world. But if you're not sensitive enough, if you're not intuitive enough, you can't hear these messages. You can't get these messages. You are limited to the world and what the world can present to you. You can't see beyond this world. You don't have that intuition, that psychic ability. This is why I said again, the 12th housers are God's chosen people. Also, 12th housers are incredibly healing. We're the empaths, okay? We're the ones that feel for other people. We can feel for people, plants, animals. We're the most generous. Sometimes we're so selfless. But this is the energy you need in order to heal the world, to heal people. God can't use other people, okay? Other people who are so into their ego, so into their body, so into their own individual reality that they can't see and feel for the whole world. God has to use the person that's most empathetic, that can feel for everyone, that has that connection with everyone. That's how we're able to heal the world, because we feel for everyone. If all you can feel is yourself, okay, if you can't see beyond that, if you can't feel beyond that, you're not going to care so much to heal everyone because you're focused on yourself. But with 12th houses, we're so empathetic. This is why we're God's people. We have the ability to heal others, to raise the vibration, to be selfless and see the bigger picture on the deepest level, on the emotional level, even beyond the 11th housers and Aquarius people who are more mentally connected to the universe. We're emotionally connected. So we feel the world's pain. We feel everyone's pain. There's no discrimination. Animals, plants, humans. So we are the greatest tools to heal. That's why we're God's people. okay? We're healers and we're vessels to that higher information. If God wants to send out a message, it's the 12th houses because we're the ones that can pick it up. Everyone is still stuck into this 3D reality. Everyone's not intuitive enough. And now some people are going to say 8th housers. 8th houses are connected to the dark world, and I'll make a video on 8th housers. But with 12th houses, we're connected to the highest. And that's why we are God's chosen people. And that's why we also need the most protection, okay? Because we're incredibly valuable. So we're healers and we're vessels. And by being that, we can channel that energy into the world and raise the vibration. 12 houses, I really believe we're here to heal the world and raise it to a higher vibration. And that is God's energy. And that's why we're the highest house. Okay? We're dealing with the highest energies. We're dealing with the cosmos. And we're being a vessel and a service to that. That's why the 12th house is service. Not service in the 6th house way, which is very practical, deals with the worldly stuff. We're a service on a spiritual level, the highest spiritual level. We're here to do God's work. We're here to heal people. We're here to raise the universe's vibration. That's what we're here to do. We're psychics, we're artists, we're creatives, and we're magical. And this is why we're God's chosen people. And this is why we highly have to protect ourselves, okay, because of the value. So, yes, this is why 12th houses are God's chosen people. If you're a 12th houser, let me know if you relate. This can also connect to people with very strong Neptune energy. I'm talking about like Neptune in the 1st house. People with very strong Pisces energy. Say you got 3, 4, 5 planets in Pisces. This is going to connect to you as well too. So yes, but tell me what you think about being a 12th houser and being God's people.
12th housers, you are cloaked. What does cloaked mean? It means you are under an intense amount of spiritual protection. All of your life, things that were meant to harm you, meant to take you out of this planet, meant to diminish your career, meant to push you out of spaces that were meant for you, the destiny swap bullshit, all of it, it has bounced back away from you and pinged back to the originator that had tried to harm you. You have been protected over and over and over again. I'm going to explain why. So in the 12th house, a lot of people cannot see what you are doing. They misperceive what you are doing. Now, a lot of people came at me in one of my reels about the 12th house, that the 12th house is not ruled by Neptune. Yes, it is ruled by Neptune, okay? If you study astrology under any decent astrologer, they will tell you the 12th house is Neptunian theme, Neptunian rule. And there's a Neptunian fog there. That's why so many people with 12th house placements have some kind of mystique or celebrity about them. A lot of them have fame, or even if they're not famous on a worldwide level, people want to know who they are. They are intrigued by them because they can't quite figure them out. If you have a lot of 12th house placements, 12th house stellium, people can't quite figure you out. And that's why they can't clock your next move. You are cloaked by protection, okay? Neptune is also highly spiritual. If you especially have your Jupiter and Neptune in the 12th house, you are very spiritually protected. It is guardian angel type of energy. If you have 12th house placements, let me know in the comments. Yes, it's not easy. A lot of us have suffered because people do misperceive us. They do try to project a lot onto us. And sometimes we absorb some of that mess. But overall, a lot of us who feel like what we've endured would have really taken other people out of this, we're still here and we're thriving.
I think the funniest part about having 12th house placements is that people just tell you shit that no normal person would admit to another person. It's very weird, like this sort of situation, like having someone obsess over you and you obviously can feel it because you're like, what is this? But then like, if you ignore it, which is the right thing to do, sometimes they'll come around and then try to be friends with you and be like, yeah, I just was like, I didn't like you at first. Something about you pissed me off. I was just like, it really like bothered me. And you're like, what is happening right now?
The problem with having my 12th house in Scorpio, I don't have a lot of friends. I am very much a loner and I like it that way. But 12th house Scorpios, we tend to have people who are hidden enemies. And I've had my fair fucking share of hidden enemies. So I kind of just protect my peace now so I don't end up in trouble or beat somebody's ass or act a fucking fool, get me out of character, out of element, because I don't have time for that. As I grow on my journey, I learned that being by myself is good for me. I'm too good-hearted and genuine for that shit. So yeah, for you to just have hidden animosity towards me is just weird.
How does the 12th house change depending on what sign it's in?
Scorpio in the 12th. The 12th house is already about the subconscious and karma and kind of dark, intense, unseen themes. And so Scorpio, in my opinion, fits pretty well here. What's interesting is sometimes if you have a water like Scorpio in the 12th house, you might also have water like Cancer or Pisces in your 4th and your 8th houses. And if that's the case and you have water in all three, you are seriously, spiritually, and intuitively gifted. Having Scorpio in the 12th can make you almost psychic. In fact, some people with this placement are mediums, are psychics, can communicate with the dead, can see spirit. So this might be you. If this isn't you, you might just have an insane level of intuition, or you might just be able to read people to filth. You can very often just understand people's psychological inner workings. You can read between the lines, you can pick up on what is not being said. If you have a Scorpio in the 12th house, people should not lie to you. That would just be a waste of everyone's time. You've also probably gone through it. You are a phoenix. You are an alchemist. You can transmute your raw pain and emotion into power. You are extremely emotionally resilient. And it does kind of suck. People are probably like, oh my goodness, you're so strong. Like, you're a survivor. Yeah, thanks. You don't want to be. You had to be. Downside of this placement is you might struggle with being vulnerable with other people, letting your guard down, trusting others. You might also suppress your emotions until they literally explode. Might also have the tendency to self-isolate when you're going through a hard time and keep your feelings and emotions hidden and to yourself. You can also attract sort of power struggles and dynamics to yourself, not even through trying. Like, it just happens sometimes. So make sure to do the inner healing. Make sure to do some shadow work. Go to therapy. It's not the easiest placement, but know that you are resilient. You are a strong person. Sagittarius in the 12th. I think Sagittarius is a sign that gets really misunderstood. It's actually a very wise philosopher, teacher, student sort of energy. So you might be incredibly spiritually wise, and you might not even totally know where it came from. It could very well be sort of a past life sort of knowledge that you're picking up on. When you have Sag in the 12th, you're blessed with this sort of divine guidance and absolute optimism, and this includes in times of crisis. Your intuition is quick and it is fiery. Make sure with this placement that you aren't escaping through religion or spirituality or your beliefs or over idealization of a person or a thing. Also, make sure that you're not suppressing your desire for freedom and independence just to make someone else happy or to avoid making other people upset. It's really important for you to actually express that energy and to feel free. And don't be afraid to share your beliefs. Oftentimes with this placement, you might feel the need to sort of hide or keep private your spirituality or your religion. And that doesn't really feel very good when you feel like you can't totally 100% be your authentic self with other people. So work on feeling safe enough to sort of show everybody who you really are and stand up for what you believe in. Capricorn in the 12th, you are serious and responsible and mature. You are very ambitious and you have the patience and the resilience to build something great. And that includes your spiritual beliefs or practice or on self-improvement. You're willing to put the work in. But with this placement, beware of feeling guilt or shame or being too hard on yourself or being too strict with yourself. You might feel like you have to do everything by yourself and kind of shoulder your own burdens and your own emotion and that you can't rely on other people, which is not true. And you can also have this very heavy fear of failure. And also sort of deny your intuition or spirituality because it just doesn't make logical sense and you rather rely on something that's practical and grounded in reality. So you need to ease up on that a little bit, and it's okay. You can believe in logic and rationality, but also entertain a little bit of otherworldly, greater divine energy. Like, two things can exist at once. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable or admit when you need help. You don't have to be strong all the time. Aquarius in the 12th, you are unique. Your mind doesn't work like anybody else's. I really like to describe Aquarian energy here as sort of being tapped into the sort of collective mind. You definitely get downloads with this placement. You just sort of like know things or get sort of unique ideas or innovative ways of thinking. This can definitely be a channeling sort of energy. I'm really not surprised when people have Aquarius in the 12th and they're able to like communicate with spirit, or they just like almost otherworldly knowledge or innovative ideas that are just unheard of or ahead of their time. Just make sure to not dissociate or sort of turn your emotion off or intellectualize your emotions. You can feel
You can feel things. It's hard to feel things, but like you can let yourself feel them. You may have a fear of being misunderstood, or you might struggle to fit in, which can lead to you being lonely. And you might have a little bit of a rebel without a cause syndrome going on, which can kind of lead to self-sabotage by just like having this absolute need to be different and to stand out. You can fit in sometimes. You can like the same music as other people. Just because someone else likes the same band as you do doesn't mean you have to stop listening to them. Sorry, my cat's attacking my hair. Pisces, you are so dreamy and creative and intuitive. You feel other people's emotions. You're incredibly spiritual. You might get messages and downloads through your sleep, and you might have spiritual healing through your art or music. But with this placement, you can be prone to escapism through substances. You can have a little bit of a victim complex. You can also be sort of self-sacrificial. You can have a little bit of idealism. You can see people through rose-colored glasses sometimes. You can also easily absorb other people's pain and emotions. So make sure to set firm boundaries so that people don't take advantage of your kindness. It's really important to protect that. It's really beautiful that you have that. Hope this helps.
Why, yes, I can do a 12th house Scorpio video because I am somebody who has a 12th house Scorpio. So like I mentioned in the previous video, to this comment, you can click on the comment and then see the video that they're referring to that make them even ask this question. But your 12th house rules over your subconscious mind, the things you're unaware of, your secrets, things that are hidden in life, confusion, illusions, so forth, right? If you want to know more about the 12th house, check the link in my bio, subscribe to my astrology Patreon. You can type in 12th house and it'll tell you all about it, okay? So with your 12th house being in Scorpio, you as a 12th house Scorpio person may be somebody who brings out things that are hidden about them or secrets about them unconsciously to, you might bring it to surface for them. I'm gonna give you an example. Like, let's say you meet somebody and they have trauma wounds. You notice those trauma wounds and you bring it out of them. You bring it to their conscious mind, their awareness, because Scorpio energy naturally trines the 12th house. 8th house naturally trines the 12th house, which rules over Pisces energy, and those energies flow together very well. They coexist together very well. So when you have a 12th house in Scorpio, it's already like a trine energy. It's a comfortable space there. It understands the 12th house. When you're around people who you have 12th house compatibility with, you can easily bring out their trauma or their wounds or the things that are in their subconscious mind that they aren't aware of. You can bring it to the forefront. You can bring it to their conscious mind. And Scorpio energy rules over transformations. It also rules over death and rebirth, right? In order to be reborn into something or have a new perspective of something or transforming something, Scorpio energy, then you would have the things that are in their subconscious mind be transformed. They might bring it to light and heal it. They might bring it to light and understand more about the dark side of their self. Scorpio also rules over darkness. So you yourself, having a Scorpio 12th house, may hide your darkness a lot of times. You can be very manipulative. You may also have betrayal things that you do, like on the sneak, you know. Depending on your compatibility with another person, it depends on how this will play out. Like if somebody else's son was in your 12th house, they can see all your little dirty secrets. They can see the little white lies. They can see like the little game you're trying to play, because their sun, which shines light on any house that it is in your 12th house of Scorpio. So they're shining light on all the darkness and hidden things about you. Now that's like a personal trait. Now, due to the 12th house ruling over karma and things that are external from our 3D physical reality, you might have a lot of like dark karma that you need to handle in this lifetime. Like myself, 12th house Scorpio, I don't care what nobody say, your girl had to reap some karma or something, because my life, I didn't understand why I was going through things I was going through, and I knew that I was such a good person. But learning more about astrology, because I'm learning more about my identity, my soul, my self-worth, that they don't teach you in school, nothing at all. I'm starting to realize, like, you know, after I learned about certain things, past life readings, etc., I have dark things in my past that I actually need to, what's that word I'm looking for? Deal with in this present life. Like, let's say somebody commits, you know what I'm saying? It don't just go away. When they're reborn again into this 3D reality, they will reap the karmas of whatever they did in their past life or lives before that and deal with it here. That's why some people feel like their life sucks, even though they don't deserve it. But this is not your only life. This is the only body you're in, but this isn't the only life. You feel me? 12th house Scorpios also have like hidden fears and stuff like that. Things they don't really talk about to like the public, or things they keep private towards themselves. But you can have a lot of hidden dark fears, because Scorpio rules over darkness again. So some things they might fear, you know, that you're scared of, because Scorpio rules over fear as well, could be very hidden and tucked away, and you probably aren't even aware, because the 12th house rules over your subconscious mind, things that we aren't naturally conscious of. You probably don't even know about these dark fears that you have, but you probably kind of know a little bit. Like when you in the shower and close your eyes and you think somebody's gonna walk in like and try and kill you. I don't know. That's just something I be thinking about sometimes. But yeah, that's kind of some of the traits of 12th house Scorpio. And your frenemies will be people of Scorpio placements, people that's plotting against you, as well as people jealous of your like sex appeal. So yeah.
Okay, I know I keep talking about Sagittarius, but Sag risings. We have Scorpio in our 12th house. No wonder we need to smoke or drink or do something. Because we have Scorpio in our 12th house, in our subconscious. Y'all. You want to talk duality? Sag risings, duality. Our internal, our subconscious is so deep, so mysterious, but then on the outside and our baseline persona is just so bubbly and all over the place and Jupiterian. Like, dude.
Do you know anything about your 12th house in astrology? See, what frustrates me a lot is there are so many astrologers out there. I do have enough knowledge, and yes, I can read a birth chart. But when it comes to the 12th house, everybody gets so elusive and so vague. So it's either they oversimplify the 12th house, or they start acting like, really woohoo, and they don't really explain the 12th house and the meaning of, your planets in the 12th house. So at its core, the 12th house represents or governs unconscious programming, karmic residue, exile, institution and isolation, collective suffering and spiritual transcendence, and of course enemies that hide in plain sight. So you will hear them say, oh, it's all hidden enemies, but some of those enemies can be part of yourself that you disown. So for example, if you have bad habits that you refuse to overcome, and those bad habits are sabotaging you, like maybe procrastination or something, then you can see why you are your own enemy, right? So let's say Scorpio rules your 12th house, like myself. The sign Scorpio itself represents power and control, obsession, revenge, and shadow contracts, death and rebirth, sexual energy and trauma, and of course secrets and psychological depth. So if this is you, who are your hidden enemies? So your hidden enemies are basically the people that you have soul contracts with. And by soul contract, I mean karmic soul contracts, especially around power, secrecy, and betrayal. And let me tell you something. I do not know if this adds up, but people that did me wrong, like did me so wrong, and I didn't see it coming, was always a Scorpio. I still love you guys though, but I'm watching you, okay? Like I'm watching you. So basically, these are the people that you have in your life that act like your friend or your allies, but in reality, they're not your friend. They just want to be around you because they are trying to take something from you. They're trying to take your light from you. And if you have this sign in your 12th house, you are naturally going to be or come across as mysterious, and people are going to be drawn to that because they want to expose that. They want to expose your secret, and they will try to control you, whether it be sexually, financially, or emotionally. And they can come in the form as a bestie, family member, etc. And this one is super important. You are going to attract a lot of psychic vampires, spiritual infiltrators, and if you are someone that does spiritual work, you might find that you have issues with people that are also in that field as well, like a jealous occultist. Yeah, you're gonna have issues with that. So if you're a very spiritual person, you have to do a lot of banishing and protection because these people are crazy. Scorpio in the 12th house, you might be open to energetic satanic attacks, or you may attract spies that just want to steal your energy or your essence or your spiritual gifts. You're going to notice that all of a sudden some of your family members are acting like monitoring spirits, so you have to be very careful if that's you. If you have compulsions like addictions, you tend to be obsessive about certain things, that can also be your enemy, because sometimes our enemies are ourselves, okay? Sometimes we are our own worst enemies. So protect yourself, okay? Do regular shadow work or spiritual cleansing. Don't rationalize the spiritual red flags. If somebody drains your energy after an interaction with them, that is your cue to cut them off, because these people will destroy you if they get close to you. And take it from me, I'm speaking from experience. And also learn how to make peace with solitude, because sometimes you are going to find yourself being alone or withdrawn, like you no longer socializing or whatnot. And I'm a very sociable person because I'm a Leo with a Sagittarius rising, and sometimes I just naturally, especially if I'm going through stuff, like I naturally pull away and I work on myself during those moments of solitude, and I come back. Like, do not get these people involved. Like, don't tell anyone your problems. If you have to tell someone your problems, make sure it's somebody that you really trust, or your therapist. But yeah, like, that's my take on.
If you were born with this innate understanding of power and trauma and secrets you can't explain, that's typically due to your Scorpio in the 12th house. It's intense. You have this psychic radar, and it amplifies your intuition, where you can decipher different types of truths and power dynamics. The 12th house amplifies this energy, making you feel everyone's shadows. You might have profound, transformative dreams, but your secret? You're a natural alchemist. You're designed to take pain, your own and the collective's, and transform it into profound empathy. You heal by diving deep into the topics that many are afraid of and avoid. So your homework is, when you feel a dark emotion come up, don't run from it. Sit with it and ask it, what are you trying to teach me? This is going to help you expand your understanding, tap more into your gifts, release the fear, and use the energy appropriately.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. So before I take it out of here, just, you know what, I actually forgot to tell you guys to put out a pen and a pad, but I'll tell y'all when I post it. But I hope that you guys enjoyed the show and learned a little bit more about your 12th house placements. And if you want to check out the 8th house placements, check out the comments in the description or the comment box. And now for the final messages. Thanks for watching the show. Peace.
Let me tell you something, pussy assholes. That's why you never hate on a motherfucker. You never hate on a motherfucker. You want to know why? Because you never know when they time gonna come. You could be the motherfucker that done took over. I don't give a fuck how much you got. Money don't mean a motherfucking thing. You understand me? But that underdog will come take your motherfucking spot one day. Watch how you treat people. You don't know what they may become.
The people who get targeted the most are not weak, stupid, or incapable. They are good. They are consistent. They are transparent. They behave the same way in every situation, with every person, expecting the same moral standard in return. And that consistency becomes a map for anyone who wants to use them. Dirty players don't hunt power directly. They hunt patterns. They observe who pauses before responding, who gives the benefit of the doubt, who hesitates to disappoint others. They watch who feels uncomfortable with silence, who rushes to clarify intentions, who feels guilty for asserting boundaries. These are not flaws in character. They are signals. And signals invite exploitation. A good person assumes shared values. They assume rules are mutual. They assume fairness is universal. That assumption is the opening. The moment you believe the other side will act the way you would act, you hand them control over timing, tone, and outcome. Dirty players don't need to overpower you. They simply wait for you to self-limit. Machiavelli understood that morality without awareness becomes predictability. And predictability is not virtue in hostile environments. It is exposure. When someone knows exactly how long you'll tolerate disrespect, how much confusion you'll excuse, how many chances you'll give before pushing back, they no longer have to guess. They calculate. This is why dirty players feel comfortable escalating slowly. They test with small violations, a delay, a misrepresentation, a subtle shift of responsibility. They watch your response. If you stay polite, they advance. If you stay hopeful, they continue. If you explain instead of observing, they adjust their approach. Each reaction teaches them how far they can go without consequence. Good people often believe restraint earns respect. Machiavelli saw the opposite. Restraint without leverage invites pressure. When someone realizes you will always choose harmony over position, they no longer need to negotiate. They only need to wait. The danger is not kindness. The danger is being readable. Dirty players don't fear ethics. They fear uncertainty. They fear people who don't reveal thresholds early. They fear those who don't rush to restore balance. They fear individuals who observe quietly instead of correcting immediately. This is why Machiavelli warned against wearing virtue on the surface. Not because virtue is useless, but at times they know exactly how to push you off center. The solution is not cruelty, it is strategic ambiguity. You don't need to change who you are internally. You need to change what you reveal externally. You don't owe consistency to those who haven't earned trust. You don't owe clarity to those collecting information. You don't owe predictability to people who benefit from your hesitation. Once you stop assuming decency, you regain leverage. Once you stop filling silence, you regain control. Once you stop volunteering your limits, you stop being easy. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I move with awareness. Number 2, the art of controlled weakness. Machiavelli understood that raw force attracts resistance the way heat attracts pressure. When strength is obvious, others adjust. They defend, they prepare, they close ranks. But when power is hidden, people relax. They expose themselves without realizing they are doing it. This is where controlled weakness becomes strategic, not submissive. Dirty players are always scanning for threats. They don't fear aggression as much as they fear unpredictability. Loud dominance is easy to respond to. Silent capability is not. When you present yourself as fully capable, fully confident, and fully aware, others become cautious. They speak less, they give you less, they protect their angles. But when you allow small gaps to be seen, the atmosphere shifts. Controlled weakness is not pretending to be incompetent. It is allowing others to underestimate your awareness, your reach, or your intent. It is choosing when not to correct, when not to challenge, when not to reveal understanding. This restraint creates a false sense of safety. People begin to assume they are ahead. They rush decisions. They over-explain. They show priorities they would normally guard. Machiavelli observed that impatience is a product of perceived advantage. When someone believes you lack options, they stop managing themselves carefully. They talk more freely. They test boundaries faster. They escalate without securing position. This is not arrogance. It is human nature responding to perceived dominance. The mistake most people make is trying to competence too early. They clarify, they justify, they demonstrate intelligence. In doing so, they shut down the flow of information coming toward them. The moment others realize you are tracking everything, they stop revealing. Controlled weakness keeps the channel open. Safe repeating it. Patterns emerge. Intent becomes visible. Timing becomes readable. What they think is invisibility is actually exposure. Machiavelli never advised constant strength. He advised selective display. You choose when to assert, when to withdraw, when to appear uncertain. This variation disrupts calculation. Others can't lock onto a stable model of you. Without a model, they hesitate. Controlled weakness also disarms expectation. People anticipate resistance from strength. They don't anticipate patience from capability. When you don't react the way they expect, their script breaks. They start filling gaps. They begin explaining themselves. They offer concessions prematurely. This approach requires discipline. Ego wants recognition. Pride wants clarity. But revealing too much too soon collapses the advantage. The goal is not to win early. The goal is to collect leverage quietly. When used correctly, controlled weakness turns the observer into the driver. You're no longer responding to pressure. You are shaping it. Others reveal limits while you conserve yours. Others rush while you stabilize. Machiavelli understood that the most dangerous person in the room is not the loudest. It is the one whose full capacity remains unknown until it matters. The moment you stop correcting every assumption, you start controlling the frame. Number 3. Why explaining yourself makes you lose. Machiavelli warned against unnecessary honesty, not because truth is harmful, but because explanation shifts control away from you. The instant you begin justifying actions, motives, or decisions, you surrender authority over interpretation. What started as clarity becomes an opening. What felt like transparency turns into leverage for the other side. Explanations invite evaluation. Once you explain, others feel entitled to judge whether your reasoning is valid, sufficient, or acceptable. This changes the dynamic. You are no longer acting from position. You are seeking approval. Dirty players recognize this immediately. They don't argue your outcome. They dissect your reasoning, because reasoning can be twisted. Every explanation creates structure. Structure creates angles. Angles create opportunities. The more detail you provide, the more material exists to challenge, distort, or weaponize.
Frame inna the cemetery, the tombstone set from your birthday to 2020 under your name. Boy, we just get shoot up, cause man, we not get too fuck. Me love it when them young and group up. The boy them soft, like the pillow them inna the ayatollah who no look like fruit in a fruit cup. Boy gone in a mug, but not because of no virus. Him gone inna the mug because the pussy dried out.